go. Question number 2. Today we are attacking question number 2. Hey everybody, this is Aaron from Speaking 26, where I show pharmacists how to get their 26 on speaking by showing how I got 30 on speaking. Today we have question number 2. Paulina, are you ready?
Yes.
Let's do it. 30 seconds to prepare. You may begin preparing now. Time. You now have 60 seconds to give your answer. You may begin speaking now.
According to the plan, the university is going to eliminate the international news from its newspaper because there are other sources available, and instead of that, they will start making a new calendar. The woman actually thinks it is a great idea. First, she said that nobody really reads those news. They only cover a couple stories that are already posted on internet by the time the newspaper is out. So it's better if they just stick with the campus news. What's more, she says that the information is posted everywhere on the building, in the cafeteria, but she keeps forgetting it. If there is a new calendar, the information will be kept in one place that you can carry around, and you will know exactly what is happening and where. That's why she thinks it's a great idea.
Good. Boom, that was right on time. Okay. How do you feel about your speaking answer? What do you like? What do you dislike?
It is good. I think I started a little slow, so then I had to hurry up and stress out at the end to make sure it's in time. It happens often to me that I slow down at the beginning and then I'm stressed and rushing at the end.
Okay, yeah, me too. That also happens to me too. Okay, I agree with what you said. I think the reason why you started slow is number 1 here. You started by, so the question directs us to briefly summarize, but I suggest getting right into it, which you did at number 2 on my notes here. Instead of starting slow with the brief summary, we're going to include the summary when we start fast. The summary will be woven within explaining the woman's reasons. Okay. Delivery, language use, and topic development. Your topic development continues to be strong. This has never been a weak point for you. So today, specifically, we're going to be improving speaking rate and pause frequency. So when you're speaking, when you say that you started off slow, but then as you continued, as you progressed, you got stronger. 2, 3, and 4 here, good. You did that. Number 3 here, I quoted when you said it's better. After you explained her reason, I like when you said your sentence started with it's better to replace, get rid of the world news section and to include a list of activities. This is good. I like this because you're further explaining the woman's reason. Good. You're saying a little bit more than just a summary. You're adding your own analysis into her opinion, making it stronger. Good. Number 4, posted. Your transition there was good. It was something like, for number 4, her second reason, you said, what's more? What's more is that the information is currently posted in different places. And then in my notes, I put what and where, because I like that you accurately described You
Mhm.
further described why it will be better to put it in the newspaper. Students will know what's going on and where it's going on. This was a strong part of the woman's reason that she said at the very end of the discussion between the two students, and I like that you included it in your answer. You also fit that within 60 seconds. Very good, Paulina.
Mhm.
Okay, do you have any comments or questions about my feedback?
No.
Okay. So my number one piece of advice for improvement, which is small because overall I like this answer. This was another very good answer, but I'm always going to offer something to think about, something to move us, boom, would be instead of number one, starting with according to and summarizing, instead of that, getting right into something like the woman agrees with the university's plan.
Mhm. Yeah, maybe, but I have hard time incorporating the reading into the woman's speech.
Yes, it is
When it's
difficult to
like
do.
everything has its own shelf, it's easier for me.
Okay. Okay, yes. And again, that was a small suggestion. For example, when you hear my answer, I'm going to do it. You're absolutely right. It is hard to incorporate it, to incorporate the summary within explaining her reasons. But for example, last class, the last few speaking answers that I've heard from you, I have noticed that you're starting to do that naturally.
Mm.
So, okay. Okay, if you have any other comments or questions, you can tell me now. Otherwise, you can get me a 30-second timer and I'll give you my answer.
Let's get your answer.
Okay.
Mm.
I'm going to type my notes so that Paulina and the viewers can see and hear me think aloud. How do I prepare? How do I use my 30 seconds to prepare for my 60-second answer?
Okay,
Okay, give me an extra 2 seconds to remind myself of the question.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, you have now 30 seconds to prepare. Begin preparing now.
Okay, so I'm going to start off by strongly saying she agrees and then give a little summary. And then she says, no one reads. No one reads that section. That's in a direct quote from her. I'm explaining her reason. Her second reason is that it will be a better replacement because the information is all over the place. Okay, now do I have 60 seconds?
You now have 60 seconds to speak. Begin speaking after the beep. Beep.
The woman agrees with the university's plan to eliminate the section from the newspaper that is world news and replace it with a list of campus-related activities. The first reason the woman feels this way is because she says, quote, no one reads that section of the university newspaper, end quote. She says that any student that has the internet has the ability to already get that information. So the students are not getting anything new from that section of the newspaper. Moreover, the second reason why the woman agrees with the university's plan is because she says currently the information of campus-related activities is all over the place in different buildings. It's hard for the students to get, and it's hard for the students to keep track of. The woman agrees with the university's plan because when there's a list of activities in the student newspaper, it will be easier for them to know exactly when and where activities are happening on campus. Paulina, is there one thing in my answer that you liked? Is there one thing that will help you with your answers? It can be anything.
It's a speed. The speed of the speech. You definitely speak faster than I do. And as I said, it's not my English, it's my personality, because I do exactly the same thing in my native language. And I wish I could speak faster. A lot of
Yes.
people like it because when I explain something, they have time to process information. But with this particular exam, you have to be fast.
Yes.
I need to
Speaking
speed
rate.
up.
So
Mhm.
we're talking about speaking rate. I like and agree everything you just said. The part that I like that stood out to me is when you said that even in your first language, you naturally speak at a slower pace. And you know, what's interesting is so do I. In my day-to-day life with friends, family, with new people, I also speak slower. But for the speaking test, when we know speaking rate and delivery is part of the criteria we are
Mhm.
being evaluated on, like you said, we have to speak faster. This reminds me of, we used to talk about speaking professionally and formally versus assertively, aggressively. So this is another thing that we have to shift when we're doing our speaking answers. Okay, so what do you think? Are you going to be able to do that? How will you do that? Speak faster. How will you improve your speaking rate?
Well, so I used to speak even slower, and I feel like one of the things that helped me to speak faster is I started doing tongue twisters and try to say them as fast as I can, and by like just drilling them. And there are some other speaking exercises that I've learned from my acting class that I took, or just
Yes.
from YouTube, that helped me to speak faster. But I feel like I already mastered those tasks. Right now, it's just practice of speaking.
Practice of speaking with
Yeah.
the focus, with the emphasis being on speaking rate.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I,
Recording myself and listening. Be
yes.
aware that I need to speed up and try to speak faster.
Yes, this is how I do it. With every question that I help people with, I record myself. The first few recordings are awful, always. It's about the third or fourth recording after I've listened to myself 2 or 3
Mhm.
times that my speaking gets a lot better, my speaking rate and my overall delivery. So I'm glad to hear that you're doing that. Okay, I'll share the notes again and ask you.
Yeah. What I've been doing, watch a short video on YouTube and then um, make a video of myself talking about that video and like paraphrasing and telling about that information and then listening to it. So
Perfect.
I started doing a daily video where I either discuss my opinion about certain situation, or I listen to a YouTube video and I'm just talking about that YouTube video or telling about what I've heard from that video. Or I can just talk about my day yesterday and what I did and how I spent it. So it will, practice the storytelling.
Yes. Uh, but Polina, what if somebody says, but what? That's not question number 2. That's not question number 1, 2, 3, or 4. Why are you doing that?
For overall English fluency,
Boom.
yeah, you still need to practice. I will still practice the TOEFL tasks, but sometimes I get so bored just practicing them.
Yeah,
So I'm
I know.
trying to make it diverse, have
Yes,
different
there we
approaches.
go. Diversify our portfolios,
Yeah.
diversify our speaking. Boom. I know that your number 1 emphasis most of your time goes to the speaking questions 1 through 4. So I'm glad to hear that you are also improving your speaking from different angles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What a segue. Speaking of a different angle to improve our speaking, we are going to do that today because today's focus, after yesterday's information, is stamina. We have to maintain a high level of speaking for about 20 minutes on the speaking section. So Polina, if you're ready, you and I can start preparing for our debate on this same topic, university newspapers. Should they have a section of world news or not? As a reminder to Polina, myself, and the viewers, Polina and I do not necessarily feel one way or the other about this topic. This is a speaking exercise to get us closer to 26 faster. So Polina, we're not going to be talking about the woman's opinion. It's now going to be your opinion and mine. What side of this debate would you like to take?
So we can choose our own opinion.
Yeah. Do you think that universities should have A, a section of world news, or B, a list of campus-related activities?
Let me try to take a side that university should have international news.
Okay. Polina is going to take the side that the university newspapers should have a section of world news. That means I'm going to take the side, no, they should have a list of campus-related activities.
So are we going to include our own opinion, or we should stay within what the woman said?
We're going to include our own opinions. This is only you and I. You can use.
We are students of that university.
Yes, you can use the information that the woman said, but phrase it as I, Polina, feel.
Okay.
So this is between you and I. We may use the information, but we don't care about the woman anymore. You already gave an excellent answer for question number 2.
Okay.
Now this is a debate between you and I for speaking exercise purposes. Yeah, it's an improv. Yes. Yeah. Remember, you said it's good because it helps you. It's a more complicated way to speak, and it helps with brainstorming during the 30 seconds that we have to prepare. Okay, so let's do that right now. Polina, you have 30 seconds to prepare for the first thing you're going to say in favor of universities having world news in their newspaper. Time. Okay, so now when you give your first point of view, there are no time limits. You speak until you're comfortable saying the first thing, and then I'll go. Let's do it. Okay, Polina, so what do you think? Should the university newspaper have a section of world international news, or should it have a list of campus-related activities?
Okay, I personally prefer that universities should keep international news because I like to be informed what is happening worldwide. I think it makes me and other students a more interesting person, being able to support different kinds of conversation and not just campus related. Another reason I feel this way is because I try to stay away from the electronics and always use the paper material when I can, because first of all, my eyes feel more relaxed when I read from the paper, and also internet can be addicting for me. I go to check news, but then I get stuck on social media, Facebook and Instagram. So I try to stay away from internet as much as I can. And having international news is a convenient way for me to be updated and don't use the electronics.
Nice, very strong. I'm gonna have to counter argue this. I'm gonna have to argue this first, and then you will have to counter argue it. Okay, I shouldn't tell you nice. This is a debate. This isn't question number 2 anymore. Okay. Being informed. So number 2 from my notes here. While Polina is correct, while I agree with her that it's better for us students at university to be informed, to be more interesting, well-rounded people, we easily get this information and well-roundedness from internet sources. Now, I know she said that she wants to try to stay away from electronics when possible, but I don't have to go out of my way to get this important world international news. As long as I or any student at our university is already a little bit on the internet, which we know we all are, that information that makes us more interesting and well-rounded is going to come naturally. So what do you think, Polina?
I'm trying to find something so that I can oppose your opinion. What do you mean by naturally?
Good question. What I mean by naturally is that when you say you like the idea of getting international news from a newspaper because you try to stay away from technology, from electronics when you can, when possible. When I say naturally, I mean I'm already on electronics, the internet naturally. Every day I'm on social media devices that give me that information. I don't have to add an electronic device to get the information that I would be otherwise missing from the newspaper. I'm already naturally receiving that information because I'm already on the internet daily.
Yeah, that's the point. I feel like people get attached to their computer and devices too much, which is not good because they forget to spend quality time with their family. They forget about their friends. And we all should try to stay away from electronics when we can, because it's not good for our health. And the newspaper was a convenient way to do that. It's still convenient, and we are not using the internet.
Okay, good. It's still convenient and we are not using the internet. People already spend too much time on their electronic devices.
And what's more, I personally have a good memory and I don't have any problems forgetting about the events that I would like to attend. And even if I see it in different places, it is not difficult for me to keep them in mind and attend them when I can. So
for me
personally, that is not an issue.
Okay, so you have a good memory. It's not, while it might be difficult for somebody else to keep track of campus-related events, it's not going to be an issue for you, Polina. Okay. But it is an issue for other people. And this university newspaper is for all university students, not just you.
Yeah, but maybe that will be a good sign for other students that they need to train their memory because they're university students and it's good for students to have a good memory.
Good. Okay, we can debate whether or not it's good or bad for students to have memory and who has a good memory and who doesn't. But continuing with what you just said, highlighting that this is about university students. That's right. What we're debating is about university students. That's why I'm pro list of activities in the newspaper. I know world news is important, but I'm a university student. My day-to-day life, it's more important to know the list of activities going on. What about when the university brings a guest lecturer in to talk about world news, to have a discussion in the same room as a world expert, or a person who's an expert on something else, perhaps more related to my major? Isn't that going to be more beneficial to us as university students? I need that list of activities to know when and where to go see that guest expert lecturer.
I think I don't know. I don't know what else to add.
Okay.
I think you won the debate.
You won the debate because you improved your speaking. It's a way to speak, and it improves our brainstorming when we only have 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, excellent.
But those all were pieces of information from other speaking tasks. I just got them together and used them in this specific situation.
Good. Yes, good.
Because I remember there was an independent question, something like paper book over electronics. And I remember I chose that I prefer, or I think it was like, do you think that paper book will go away in the future? And I remember I said, I believe that paper book will never go away because, so I gave those reasons that my
Perfect.
eyes feel better when I read paper book. For example, I work every day next to the computer and they get so tired when I get home. I really enjoy reading a book.
Good. I like that you did that.
And it was something else. It was another question that I came up, like, just doing something makes me an interesting person, being able to support any kind of conversation. That was from some other speaking task that
Yes.
I
Excellent.
used here.
Yeah, you've been practicing high-level speaking from different questions. I'm glad that if you're able to if the information is relevant, like it was right now, you're drawing from that to include it in your speaking. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. This reminds me of your example of studying abroad in Italy. It's not important that you didn't really do that. What's important is that it's a perfect example to make your explanation stronger.
But nobody understands that this is not true.
Right. Yeah, this isn't, we're not giving a historical account of our biography. Mm-hmm. We're speaking with strong, relevant examples, and you're doing that well. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this speaking exercise, a mini debate, improved our stamina after doing the question number 1. Paulina, what do you want to remember from today's class, from today's question number 2, the mini debate? What do you like or dislike? What do you want to remember? What's going to help you get a 26 faster on speaking?
I think I always should remember to speak faster and strive for speaking faster. I'll try to do it in my daily life every time when I explain something, to try to pick up the pace.
Good.
And what I liked about today's debate is that I was able to come up with the points, with the reasons to oppose your opinion, that I didn't get stuck. At least a few points I was able to find
Oh yeah, you did that very well.
and present as an opinion opposing yours.
Yes, you debated me very well. You did. I'm glad you said that. It gives me a chance to make sure to let you know that. I
Thank you.
didn't comment on it. I didn't comment on it because there was nothing for me to help you improve on. It was very good. And I'm glad that you said to remember speaking rate, to remember speaking faster, of course, on the questions and in your daily life. After you get 26 on speaking, go back to speaking. Yeah, go back to speaking how you and I naturally like to speak, which is a little bit slower, calmer. But during these speaking questions, we're taking care of business. Okay, I'm going to end this live stream here. For more information, check the description in the video.